Cool. And welcome to the ABBA Guide. Again, this is the second ABBA Guide. If you have not yet watched the first one, be sure to go do that, because most of the stuff that you hear in this video will not make any sense until you've watched that first video. In the description, I'll have a link to that video. I will also have a link to ABBA's frame data. If you don't know what frame data is, I will also have a link to my guide on what frame data means and how you can use it. And I will also start using Numpad notation, so if you don't know what Numpad notation is, I will also link my guide to Numpad notation. One more thing before we get started, you will notice the layout is completely different. You might also have noticed the game looks a little bit different. It's a little bit brighter, a little bit more vibrant. Let me know what you think about both of those things. Now we can get started. So ABBA starts in normal mode. You know you're in normal mode because your character sucks, and the whole point of normal mode is to get into Moroha mode. Useful moves in normal mode include 5P. This is her fastest attack. It can also be used to anti-air. Her other anti-airs are 2S and 2H, each with progressively longer startup but bigger hitboxes. She has a couple of decent pokes, including 5H and 6H, and her Rekka chain, quarter forward kick, also has decent range, and will go over a lot of low attacks. And she has a slow, but usable fireball. Quarter punch is this little slide, which goes under a lot of things. And she can force break it to get increased range and full invincibility for the entire duration. Notable jump attacks include Jump H, because of its active frames, and Jump D, because of its horizontal range. Now, normal mode can do some damage on its own. Specifically, it is capable of dealing large amounts of stun if you land several 6Hs, but 99% of the time, you don't care about any of that. All you care about is entering Moroha mode as fast as possible. Once again, the two ways of entering Moroha mode are via Blood Pack and Key Grab. Be sure to check out the previous video for examples on how you can safely enter Moroha mode. Just know that depending on how you hit with a key grab, they're going to get up at different times. So most of the time when you land a key grab, you can just hold up forward and then time your jump attack to hit the meaty. This is called a safe jump. Do note that some characters get up slower than others, like ABBA herself. There'll be other times when you OTG with the key grab, which will cause them to wake up a lot sooner. So in these cases, I just mash 5S so that I meaty them. Once you get to Moroha mode, most of your normal attacks change for the better. 5P is still 5P. It's still really fast at 3 frames, and it still functions as an anti-air if you need a quick anti-air. By far your strongest normal attack in Moroha mode is 5S, which has insane range for how fast it is. You also now have access to 2D, which has insane range and hits low. Up close, your go-to string is 2K 5S. Anything that you can do into 5S really is all you need. You still have 5P as an anti-air. You get access to a stronger anti-air with 2S. However, 2S is quite slow, so you'll need to mix it in with 5P in certain situations. Of note is that if you counter hit with 2S, they cannot tech that entire time, so you can run up and do whatever combo you want. Like that. You do also now have Danzai, which is 623H or 623D. The H version has 1 hit of armor, D version has infinite hits of armor, and you can combo off of both of them. Before I talk about combos, I want to talk about how to mix up and just how to generally play aggressively with this character. So I showed an example earlier of a safe jump off of key grab into Moroha mode. Safe jumps like these are key to this character's mix-ups because she doesn't really have a standing overhead. You think of characters like Milia, Testament, Kai, all those characters have really quick overheads that they can use to mix up. ABBA really can't do that. She has to pressure using her plus frames on her attacks, so in that sense, she's not really a mix-up character, but she's just a pressure character. The more you block, the more your risk gauge gets cranked up, and then eventually when she does run in and throw you, you get blown up. So what are your options after a save jump? Well, you could empty jump low. You could cancel jump S into jump K for a double overhead. Both of those are double jump cancelable, so I could do S and then double jump cancel, or I could do jump SK, double jump, or I could delay my overhead by air dashing and then doing jump S. And once again, we can go into SK or land and go 2K. That's the first layer of Abba's mix-ups. The second layer is what happens after you land on the ground. So because they just blocked a jump attack, you have plus frames. Your first and most obvious option is to just go 2K5S, which hits low. You could also walk up and throw them. But be careful, because there is a window of extended throw invincibility after you recover from block stun. So if they're mashing, you're not going to be able to throw them. If you think they're mashing, you could 2H. 2H is invincible to throws, so you're not going to get one frame thrown, and they just blocked a jump in. So you have plus frames, and you don't have to worry about its long startup. 2H is also plus on blocks, so you get one more layer of mix-up after that. The best frame trap you have is 5P, because that's your fastest attack. If you do that perfectly, there is no window there where they can actually interrupt you. So if you think that they're going to keep blocking, that opens back up, run up, throw. Or you could jump cancel the 2H to reset the mix up again. So you crank their guard gauge up a ton, and they're just back to where they started again. If you choose to just do regular frame traps, your string will look a little something like that. And if you have the meter, you can always FRC the third Rekka to get even more plus frames. Something you need to watch out for is the opponent can instant block and faultless defense, which changes things. If they FD, they're going to be pushed really far away. However, because they're FDing, they have increased block stun, which means that your 2H is no longer +2, it's actually +4. This means that now, 5S will frame trap. Then, if they instant block, you're kept closer to the opponent, and your 2H is no longer plus on block. This means, at this close range and at this advantage, they are liable to press buttons. Don't forget, 2H is still special cancelable, so if you cancel into a Rekka, even if they instant block, they're not going to be able to poke out of your pressure. So make sure to keep track of what type of blocking your opponent is using. Another option you have is corner forward kick. This is an overhead, but even if they block this overhead, they still get staggered and you can combo them. Like that. It obviously has a very slow and telegraphed startup, so use it sparingly. If you're at minus frames, say you do a Rekka, or say they instant block your 2H for example, and you think they're going to try to press buttons to steal their turn back, mash that Donzai. If you think they're going to continue blocking, then consider resetting your offense in some way. I mentioned one earlier, which is jump canceling your 2H, but you can also reset pressure by running forward. Something like that. You could run forward, you could insta air dash forward, you could do 2K, wait, and then 5S. You have an unlimited number of options at your disposal. Just make sure that you mix it up. Or if they keep getting hit by the same thing, keep doing that thing over and over again. And the last thing that you should strongly consider using in your game plan is Goku Moroha activation. Remember, this thing is +5 on block, resets the Moroha gauge to full, and cancels from anything. So a very standard string that you'll see me use a lot looks like this. The pressure just keeps going. And now it's time for the part you've all been waiting for, the combo section. So I'll be starting most combos off with 5S. The most basic thing that you can do is just Rekkas. And then run forward, regular jump, and that'll be your safe jump timing. If you want to be a little bit more fancy, you can do something like this. And then the end to your combo will depend on if you're at the corner or not. If you are not at the corner yet, you can do this. And even after that, if you are in the corner, you can do one more rep. Like that. But if you're within about half stage, you can actually do this combo instead. That was just outside of range. Like that. Which does more damage and is easier and still gets you that hard knockdown. Keep in mind that most of these combos actually don't work against very light characters or characters that fall slowly. Against those characters, you need to keep it really, really simple, like this simple. Unless you don't care about hard knockdowns, which you should care about hard knockdowns. Getting the first part of the combo down with the air dash takes some practice and will depend on the character you're facing. If you get to the corner, your options open up drastically. Instead of comboing it into 2H, you can combo into 2D, like that, and cancel the 2D into Rekkas to start your Rekka Loop. Now, the Rekka Loop does not work against Baiken and Mei. However, if you time it properly, it can work against every other character in the game. So the way it works is this. Cancel the 2D into Rekka Rekka, delay the third Rekka as long as possible, and then start Rekka-ing again. You can do 2 of these max in a row. However, if your combo starts with the 2D and there's nothing before the 2D, you can get 1 extra rep in. Additionally, if you're really squished against a corner, you can actually cancel the second hit of the Rekka into quarter kick, which is the unblockable, but it also causes a really long, hard knockdown. So on. There are ways to escape this. They can spend 25% tension to dead angle out, or they can burst out, or if they're playing Roebuck High or Bridget, they have ways of delaying their wake up and avoiding the mix-up completely. As you saw a few seconds ago, there is a way to start the Rekka Loop off of the ground hitting Rekka. So normally when you hit with the Rekka on the ground, you can't combo another one, but if you FRC it, you can. Like that. And you also can for free if you're already in Goku Moroha mode. You also get a few more reps in if you're in Goku Moroha mode. Your other corner loop is the Bato loop. Wrong game. Your other corner loop is the butt loop. And just like all of Alba's combos, this does not grant a hard knockdown versus the very light or slow falling characters. However, against everyone else, you can time this as late as possible and they'll still get knocked down. Like that. Earlier you saw the ender on it. If you were to sacrifice the knockdown, you do that, landing a throw in the corner yields you either the Rekka Loop or the butt loop. It's your choice. Don't forget about Goku Moroha. While in Goku Moroha mode, you get extra loops of the butt loop and the Rekka Loop. You also get access to this. The double orb. The way this works is Alba's orb attack hits twice, once in front and once in back. The one in the front does about 30 to 40 damage, depending on the character. The one in the back does 50 to 60 damage, depending on the character. And if you hit with it just right, you can hit with both orbs at once. It does not have to be in Goku Moroha mode, but the most common example of it is in Goku Moroha mode. So to do it, you do the butt, jump cancel the butt, instant forward air dash, and then orb. Like this. In some matchups, it is stupidly easy to find examples of double orb damage. Against Potemkin, you just double jump and do it, and it does it. There will inevitably become a time when your Moroha gauge is starting to run out, and you haven't beaten the opponent yet, and you need to figure out a way to reset the Moroha gauge. The first thing that you should be thinking about is Goku Moroha mode. This is by far the best way to reset the Moroha gauge, but if you're already in Goku Moroha mode, you're not going to be able to do it again. So your other options are to do some combo into Blood Pack FRC, like that, or you can do double key grab, which I explained in the previous video, or you can combo EX Danzai, Blood Pack key grab, or you can choose to give up your pressure by doing an air combo into key grab. While it is the least desirable choice, it can get you out of sticky situations like this one. Because you will only receive the Moroha stun once Abba returns to neutral on the ground. If I run out of Moroha gauge during an attack string, and I jump cancel that string, and I do a big air combo, and I do a key grab at the end of the combo, it doesn't matter that the Moroha gauge ran out 10 minutes ago, because Alba hasn't yet returned to neutral. And that's the entirety of what I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know what video you want to see next, what character you want me to do next, or if you'd like to see more Abba, if you want to see match footage. You can already see match footage from my Twitch streams, but until then, peace.